My friend Austin wanted to know the 5 best movies I saw this year, but I plan on doing something a little bit different and talking about 5 movie experiences that stuck out to me, each one in their own video. The problem with doing the 5 best movies I saw this year is I haven't been watching that many movies, especially not new ones. I've still been experiencing cognitive impairment, which affects, among other cognitive abilities, my ability to focus and my memory. I originally only intended to share this video with friends and family, the majority of whom have already heard me talk about cognitive impairment. So I thought my references to it, bereft of any context, might be confusing to anybody outside of that friends and family bubble. Long story short, I had a rough year in 2018 and developed cognitive symptoms of depression. I didn't know what was happening to me at first, but it felt like my brain wasn't working right anymore, which was scary. It hasn't gotten any better, but I'm learning more about it, and I'm getting better at living with it. If people are interested, I might make a video at some point all about cognitive impairment. So it seems a little bit silly to watch something when 1, I'm going to struggle to pay attention to it, and 2, I'm going to have trouble remembering anything about it. So as a result, I've mostly just been rewatching movies I've already seen before. Most of what I've watched this year is already in my collection. So I haven't made many new discoveries or been that adventurous in my movie watching, but since I tend to look for the positive in situations, I think it's good that my movie collection isn't just sitting there going unwatched. And the fact that I'm having trouble remembering what I watch means I get to rewatch some of my favorites over and over again, and they still seem fresh. For example, I've watched RoboCop multiple times this year. 7 times, according to my movie list. For years now, I've been keeping a list of all the movies I watch, and just because I find it interesting, I graph all the data. Now that 2019 is over, I counted up all my totals for the year and updated my graph. As you can see, I actually did more movie watching than I did in 2018, which feels a little surprising. But the drop in movies I watched for the first time reflects what I said about mostly just rewatching movies already in my collection. And yes, I do count individual viewings, so RoboCop accounts for 7 of the 160 movies I watched last year. That means 4.375% of the movies I watched in 2019 were RoboCop.
Drop it! Dead or alive, you are coming with me.
I've always loved RoboCop, but it has become one of my favorite movies in recent years, easily in my top 10. I think it's about as close to perfection as a movie can get.
You better back up, pal!
There's also been something weirdly comforting about watching this movie in the last year or so. It's like being wrapped up in a warm blanket, which is maybe weird to say about this ultra-violent dystopian film, but it's familiar. It's sort of like I've reconnected with an old friend, and somehow the two of us get along better than we ever did before. I got to know it better too, learning about who made it, how it was made, what influenced its creation. I know it sounds silly, but it's sort of become part of my support system, and it's always right there on my shelf when I need it. It's genuinely comforting. I'm not sure why, but I think maybe it's because many of the themes explored in the movie resonate with me and my experiences, especially the memory loss.
Can you understand what I'm saying?
Doesn't matter, we're gonna blank his memory anyway.
You really don't remember me, do you?
I can feel them. But I can't remember them.
What was I talking about?